The man who taught America what courage looked like was secretly terrified of horses. John Wayne, towering symbol of American masculinity, cowboy who rode across silver screens for decades, spent his entire career hiding a paralyzing fear that would have shattered his legendary image. While millions watched him mount stallions with effortless grace, few knew that behind those steely blue eyes lay a terror so profound it nearly ended his career before it began. It was 1930, and a young Marion Morris had just been given his first major break in Hollywood. Director Raoul Walsh saw something special in the tall, broad-shouldered former football player from Iowa. But there was one problem. The role required extensive horseback riding, and Marion had never been comfortable around horses. As a child growing up in California, he had witnessed a neighbor's violent encounter with a spooked stallion, an image that burned itself into his memory and would haunt him for the rest of his life. The studio executives were clear. If he could not convincingly portray a cowboy, his Hollywood dreams were over. So Marion Morrison made a choice that would define not just his career, but his entire identity. He would conquer his fear, or he would disappear into obscurity. Every morning before dawn, while the studio slept, Marion would arrive at the stable. His hands would shake as he approached the horse, sweat beading on his forehead despite the cool morning air. The stable hands noticed how he would stand at the fence for long minutes, gathering courage just to enter the pad. They watched him fall, get back up, and fall again. They saw him flinch at sudden movements, heard him whisper reassurances to himself as much as to the animal. But something remarkable happened during those solitary morning sessions. The fear never fully disappeared, but Marion learned to work alongside. He developed his own techniques, the slow, deliberate movements that would become his signature style, the way he would pause before mounting, the careful positioning of his hands on the rein. What audiences interpreted as confident swagger was actually calculated control, every gesture designed to maintain his composure while managing his terror. The transformation was complete when Marion Morrison became John Wayne. The Duke, as he would be known, created a persona so convincing that even he began to believe. On screen, he was the epitome of fearless masculinity. But those who worked closely with him noticed the small tell, how he would always arrive early to familiarize himself with each horse, how he insisted on using the same gentle mares whenever possible, how he would quietly slip the animals treats to build trust before filming began. What makes this story even more extraordinary is that Wayne never spoke publicly about his fear. In an era when admitting weakness could destroy a career, especially for someone who embodied American strength, he carried this secret to his grave. The man who inspired generations of Americans to face their challenges head-on was himself facing his greatest challenge every single day he worked. The irony is profound. John Wayne's greatest performances came not from fearlessness, but from his daily victory over fear. Every time he climbed into that saddle, he was proving that courage is not the absence of fear, but action in spite of it. The Duke we remember was not a man without weakness, but a man who refused to let his weakness define him. In his final years, when asked about the source of his on-screen confidence, Wayne would simply smile and say that a man learns what he is made of when he faces what frightens him most. He never revealed that for him. The test came not in war or adventure, but in the simple act of climbing onto a horse day after day for 40 years. The legend of John Wayne was built not on natural fearlessness, but on the most human quality of all, the choice to keep going when everything inside you wants to run away.